Hi,
Service.
welcome back to This Is Who You Are. I'm Landis. Today, I will introduce a friend to you guys. Meet Raph. He came to Shanghai 16 years ago, thinking it will be a shorter adventure. Instead, he built a life here, married a Chinese girl from Lanzhou, and they have a son. 16 years, a foreigner in China, an executive chef in a French restaurant, a husband, a father, a brewer, a man who stayed when so many left. But why? Being a foreigner in China, it's not always what people think. Let's uncover the story of a Belgian man who calls Shanghai home. I arrived at Frank Bistro, a French restaurant where Raph works, located in the old French concession in Shanghai, to visit chef's work and talk to him for a while. This is kind of a situation, normal situation for the kitchen at the Saturday meal, the lunchtime.
Yeah, it's usually short menu, so 30 minutes, we're busy. We send all the food, but then customer fill up the room, we have no more food to send, right?
Oh, okay. So 30 minutes, quite really busy.
Yeah, it's a big rush. For lunch, it's always condensed. In the evening, we start from 6 to 8, 8:30, so it's more spread over the evening, right?
So smooth ways in the afternoon, and then peak way in the evening.
The afternoon is almost nothing for us. It's coffee, pastries, ice creams.
Raph, I just experienced with you for your working time in the kitchen this afternoon. I saw that you put a lot of strength and intention into the kitchen job. So how you just have the energy into that? Because you mentioned before you have been in the F&B industry
since I'm born.
Since you were born, right?
Yeah, it's not only about energy. It's something that you do when you like it. It's like some people, do sports or as a profession, right? Mm-hmm. We always hear, I play football. The sound like playing football, but they also put a lot of effort and energy, and the working time is not only what people see, right? So you come to the restaurant, you see the chef, the waiters, but actually there's so much other work to do, right? To make it ready. So especially now it's the end of the month, right? So we prepare all the inventory, we check all the stuff over time and schedule, and there's some, not so fun job to do. It's not only like the nice cooking and put the plate and go out and the action, right? It's also like other jobs to do that.
You still need to manage your kitchen stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
How many employees in your kitchen?
We're a small, let's say almost family business restaurant. So we have six. We are 6 in the kitchen, 4 in the room. We have staff in the office, and that's about it. Right? It's quite small compared to other restaurants, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of style you manage with your staff?
What do you mean, what style?
Because I saw that your staff are all Chinese people, right?
Yeah, of course.
So the dishwasher, the sous chef.
Everybody is. Yeah. I'm the only foreigner in the restaurant.
So how you just because I do know that in kind of the company and office, they do have the hierarchy, right?
Yeah, there's hierarchy here as well. So, and not because I'm foreigner, but just because I have the position of being the executive chef.
Yes.
So, then how do I manage? I don't. You mean because for communication wise, you mean? Or
for the communication wise, and because they are all Chinese, they are getting use of from your Western management, or you are approach them in the Chinese way?
Yeah, I think first of all, I've been here for 16 years now.
Okay.
So I probably changed my way of being and communicating, but also all my managing career started when I arrived in China.
Okay.
So somehow I think maybe I'm too much Chinese when I. I'm not sure. When
you are 16 years Chinese now, right?
Yeah, correct. So usually I like to give a lot of, not freedom, and I don't know what freedom, but
Creative?
Not for
Space?
creative, like, yeah, I give a lot of space to my teamwork. So I come with a recipe, we do a training, but then I'm not behind their back every 2 minutes, right? Because I mean, they're grown men. They've been working in the industry also for years. They have their way of working, and as long as the output is what I expect, you know,
You live
or
in the
let's say,
space.
let's say 90% of what you expect, it's enough, right? If not, you have to do everything by yourself.
Yes,
So
because you're...
at some point you need to, you know, get a bit loose. But I mean, I'm lucky. I have a good team, and since I'm here, it's the same team. So you know, we know each other already for more than 5 years, so we are used to each other, and it's quite smooth. I would say, like, it's very rare you will hear me burst in the kitchen.
You won't shout in the kitchen, right?
It sometimes happen, but it's, let's say, twice a year, just because.
Twice a year you
Yeah,
shout.
because they deserve it.
Okay.
Sometimes mistake happen, or sometimes just, you know, or I'm tired and I don't, like, you know, I cannot tolerate anymore, or they're just doing like random repeated mistake, and then of course, and it's like, you know,
Yeah.
give me a break.
It's not imagine that I see the just like the show for the Hell's Kitchen, people shouted to their stuff.
And it's probably like this with Gordon, and I've been working in some kitchen where there's a lot of heat. All right, in every country I worked, it's tough, you know. But most, I would say 90% of the time, 80% of the time, it's quite peaceful. Like, you know, it's, I would almost say it's like in a factory, right? Everybody has their own job.
Yeah.
And when the work comes, so we know exactly what to do, right? And it's only when it gets like maybe overwhelmed, or a new dish or a new recipe, like someone is not very secure or start to waste time, we do some mistake, but then a little mistake at this point can impact the whole team actually. And then that's when it starts to be a big drama. But
so
usually,
actually you're kind of getting to the atmosphere of the Chinese styles.
Yeah, Chinese style, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't like those big meetings when you line up everybody and you just random every day repeatedly say the same thing. There's no point to make a meeting, don't do a meeting, right? Especially we're a small team, so it's also different, right?
Yeah.
If you walk in the kitchen, you have 100 staff, then maybe you need that meeting to make sure everybody is on the same page. So here I have 7 people, I say we are 10 in the restaurant, so just by talking each other, we eat together. When we talk about the day, that's a meeting, right? There's not like a lined-up meeting where we...
It's not a really official meeting. It's kind of just a relaxed gathering.
It's communication.
Yeah.
We need to communicate, and depending on the occasion, or the needs,
review the day.
Yeah, if there's something special, if like some announcement, something that we need to review. Okay, maybe we get a team. Okay, today this is not good, or the new dish we need to change because it takes too much time to send out. So how can we adapt? Maybe we do things differently, then we just talk, right? It's communication.
I saw you today, you sent out your own food by yourselves.
Yeah,
because it's a shortage of the waiter or waitress.
Yeah, it's Chinese New Year now, so some staff already went home. And then even though you mentioned there's a hierarchy, I don't mind to do any other job in the restaurant.
Yeah, that's my question.
I can peel onions, I can cut potato in the afternoon with the boys. If I need to go and send food to the customer, I'll do it. Right?
So
it's like,
yeah,
it's not like, oh, my job's finished here, and then, you know, at the end of the day, we work as a team to service the customer, right?
Yeah.
And the customer, it doesn't need to know that you have staff off, or that it's not your job to bring the coffee to them, right? You know, if
the customer only know that you are the staff in the restaurant, they don't know who you are, the executive chef or waiter. So you see, it's paradoxical. So one side I mentioned to you, it's kind of hierarchy in your kitchens, right? Another thing is you are flexible to send out your food by your side.
Yeah.
So
you have to be open-minded.
Okay.
And as I say, at the end of the day, is the result for the customer, right? So if the food stays there 10 minutes, well, you wouldn't stay there 10 minutes, but it's ready, right? So maybe your teammate in the service, they're busy, because special section,
Okay.
special time now with Chinese New Year. You just bring it, and then it makes it smooth for the whole, the whole atmosphere, right? The customer don't need to wait so long. It's easier for the teammate in the service, and then with more, hopefully higher customer satisfaction, right? But we go early,
it's
like 6
Lanzhou
o'clock.
牛肉面. They don't have
I know,
ramen in Lanzhou. They need to confirm that.
I just say New
Yeah.
So in the morning we go to the New place. At 6 o'clock, very cold.
But you know that it's the first soup. They call it the first round soup
Yeah.
from the noodle, from the beef noodle,
Yeah.
right? Again.
Most of the time it's not even seat, so you stay outside, eat like this. But
That's
it's
the
so
tradition.
delicious. Yeah.
That's the tradition because outside is cold.
Soup
Your
soup
beef,
is so
your
warm.
noodle is so warm and hot, right? You eat spicy food,
Yes.
right?
Around in China, we don't eat spicy. We don't eat coriander. But no, I eat both, so it's fine.
It doesn't matter. You could eat Chinese food, right? Chinese food, spicy or not spicy or soured, some.
Yes. So at the beginning, actually, I was disappointed when I arrived to Shanghai because, back in Europe, Chinese food is nothing like Chinese food.
Yeah.
You go to the Chinese restaurant, and there's a lot of toya and bamboo, and they say it's the same dish, but one is with beef, one with mushroom, one is chicken, one is chicken and mushroom. There's spring rolls, and then I arrived here and I said, we never eat soja. Where's the spring roll? And for my staff, who told me, oh, this is not Chinese food, chef.
It's the Chinese food for Western country.
Western, So first I was a bit disappointed, and second, it was difficult for me to eat because of the chopstick. When I arrived here, I cannot eat with chopstick. So much that I had cramps. I would eat and I had cramp in my hand because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. So that was a bit epic at the beginning. And then slowly, and then you know how to use the chopstick, and then you dare a bit more to go on the spicy food.
You literally and gradually enjoy the spicy food, right?
Oh, I love spicy food. If I eat anything, there's spice on the table, I would add it by myself. My wife eats very spicy, very spicy. This I cannot follow. But I love spicy food, and Chinese cuisine is I say Chinese cuisine, but actually it's so vast that it's difficult to pinpoint one. But I say from Shanghai, I love the Hongxiao
Hongxiao.
noodles. I love noodles, but I did love pasta before I come to China, right? So it's a different kind of noodles. And usually when we go travel out of the country, let's say I go back to Belgium, my wife after 3-4 days she misses Chinese food, and me maybe after 10 days. But I do miss Chinese food when I'm back home. I miss Chinese food.
You will just cook the Chinese food by yourself, or your wife cooks?
At home, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't cook.
So chefs never cook at home, right?
Rarely cook at home. Imagine you're a bricklayer when you're on holiday. You don't go to yard and start to build a wall, right? Like you're off.
So in
your
house, your wife cooks for the family.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know now, chefs never cook at home.
Rarely.
Really.
And also, it's very different, right? Usually at home, you don't have all the equipment that you're used to work with, and it tends to be quickly very messy around. So okay, forget about it. I buy fried steak. I do like easy food, but not really like what we do in the restaurant.
Okay. I saw your restaurant getting to Wukang Road, right? Really close to the crowded spots of the Yongkang building. But what do you think about recently a lot of just like sports car driving around here, and because a lot of Korean tourists visiting Shanghai?
Yeah, I didn't know the story until 2 days after it actually happened, even though I'm here, right? And I was surprised because every day you can see
sports car or luxury
in general, or a lot of motorbike
Moto,
recently as well,
yeah.
you know, like a big Harley Davidson, or I don't know if you can say brand. But
They want to show.
and I was surprised
Yeah.
that someone comment online. They said, "Oh, in Shanghai they don't have a luxury car." I'm like, "What? Just stay here for one day. You will see a lot of, you know,
Maybe it's
fancy cars."
just the
Yeah.
chaos here because people raise up the topic saying
Yeah.
we need to show to the people we have,
Ah.
but seems it's kind of too much.
Yeah, there's a lot of rich car owners, you know, and of course, if you can afford a third or fourth car, then you will go for something a bit more decadent, I would say. Yeah, why not?
So you're just feeling it's happened. It's nothing.
Yeah, maybe we used to it now.
You're getting use of it.
You know, you're used to it, to see like so many electric cars, so many fancy cars. It becomes normal. Like,
You know, TikTok is because before Trump's getting the announcements for saying TikTok is still existing in the United States,
yeah,
but you know that in the TikTok tech
refugees,
refugees urging to the Red Book in China.
yeah. But this is a bit the new trend. Somehow there's so many people, like the younger generation, not me, I'm a bit a dinosaur on this, but their TikTok account or their in China, so the Xiaohongshu accounts, so Douyin or Xiaohongshu, they become their, not only their representation of themselves, but from a lot of them is also a revenue income.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the US, and they do a lot of business out of it, because there's advertisement, they get paid for the views and stuff like this. So all those people that live from that, all of a sudden your government says we forbid this particular application, and of course they need to find another way.
another platform.
Yeah.
They need to exist. They need to
They need to,
live.
you know, the family to feed, I guess, and bills to pay.
So you accepted that they still need to just make the money by themselves, but that's why they change another platform to the Chinese apps.
platform, yeah, I think for them it's just a media, right? Like how to communicate about your business, or to show your product. Before they use A, and now they go to B or to C. For them it's almost the same, right? As long as they keep the view and they keep the revenue coming in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think the conductive differences between Europe and China extend to how the mainstream media interprets industries such as electronic vehicles?
Hola. Hot topics here.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Nothing. We just talk. We just randomly chit chat.
So EV cars, I'm a huge fan of new technology. Even though you can see I have a very old watch, so it's this is from '86, right? I cannot tell you the brand, but you will recognize it. He has a solar panel and it's battery-less.
Yeah, Casio.
Yeah, so
And
yeah,
nothing.
it's a Casio, and I love it. And I wonder why this technology was available like 30 years ago, right? Maybe 40 years ago, 30 years ago, and it barely evolved.
Yeah.
So now every time you buy any piece of electronic that needs a remote control, you need to buy 2 batteries to put in there. Right? So is it really necessary? Couldn't we have like one remote that has different channel lengths? I don't know how it works, but I'm sure if someone think about it, they could do it, right? With one thing like this, and then you never buy a battery anymore for all your air conditioning, TV, 2 TVs, 3 air conditioning, whatever remote that we have, right?
Yes.
It's crazy. So I'm a big fan of electric, renewable energy. Yeah, I'm pro eco-friendly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't like wasting. I don't like. Yeah, I think we have too much stuff. Like, You go home tonight. You go home tonight at your home and just look around what you have. I think we're doing quite good. Our home is quite lean, except when you go to the kids' room, then it's a lot of toys. My wife and myself, we quite, lean on this one. We don't have too many stuff,
You
like
you
decoration
guys,
and like things that are useless. Some is useless.
you
right?
guys prefer the simple life and the energy saving.
Energy saving. I mean, if you need to warm yourself, just use whatever you need to be warm, right?
Yeah.
Don't suffer. So I would not go to the extreme that you cannot use AC, you cannot do this, do that. No, don't suffer. But on the daily consumption, I really believe we use too much resources.
Okay. So we need to just pay attention about the energy and the resources in the coming future, because you guys
Just be
respect
reasonable.
Mm.
Just be reasonable.
Yeah, just be reasonable. Just consume to what we really need, right?
Really need and then I don't know. Then is only to me as well, and because maybe of my background. As a chef, you like to use local products.
Mm-hmm.
So of course we use beef from here and beef from there that they imported. But most of the time you like to work with local ingredients, like special vegetable, and it's like something which doesn't need to travel the entire world.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a bit funny. You see some people
They prefer to have.
they choose a style of life to protect the environment, but they eat avocado who traveled
Yes.
across the world just to come to their plate, and like, does it really make sense? Just eat something else then, right?
It's the
So it's
Different
just be reasonable.
requirements.
Just be reasonable.
Uh-huh.
As I say, don't suffer. Just be comfortable. But yeah, if you can, avoid to leave too much footprint, then why not?
Mm-hmm. So what makes Shanghai so special to you that it has become your home? Because I know Belgium is your home. Now
Yes,
you
yes,
called Shanghai is your home as well.
Yeah. So I arrived to Shanghai. I was not 30 yet. I did travel a lot, not a lot, but in a few places in Europe and the US, in America in general, Latin America as well. And I arrived to Shanghai, and for me it was like the future.
The future.
So yeah, as a kid there was this trilogy movie called Back to the Future. People might know when Marty is walking on the street or in the square, and then there's this big shark coming out of the TV screen like a hologram to present it to bite him. And I remember I was in the car that picked me up from the airport to go to see my boss the very first day. And on the elevated road, you pass People's Square, and on the left there, on Huahailu, you have this big rounded screen, and it made me think of that, right? And then the whole time I was with my head against the window, trying to see the tip of the building, and I'm like, wow, this is China. It's the future. Right? So the very first impression was like very impressive, and then there is energy in Shanghai. It's like it never stops, right?
So it's back to 50 years ago. You were thinking Shanghai and China. Maybe just Shanghai is kind of the future thing.
No, I didn't think it was. Back in Europe, we would think maybe Japan is the future. Maybe Japan has all the robots, and because all the electronic was coming from Japan back in the days. So I arrived here and I was very shocked. I was like, wow, this is the future. It's great. And then when I arrived, a lot of buildings were still under construction. Like the Shanghai Tower.
Yeah.
The other one.
The Oriental Pearl Tower.
Kaipinchi. What's the name of the Kaipinchi in English?
What?
The bottle opener. The IFC. Shanghai Finance Center.
Shanghai IFC.
The Finance Center.
Finance Center.
Was still building. A lot of cranes everywhere. And you could feel the city was like
Modern
growing,
city,
and as a citizen, I think you feel it, right? You feel it, and then what people describe like China speed. When you see it in front of your eyes every day, it's amazing. You go home at night, and all the streets of Nanjing Donglu, the car at the time was car. The car part, the driving part, they peel the street in one night.
Yeah.
So for one day, the street is like, you know, a bit bumpy, and the second day you come, and it's like the Formula One track. It's like
Yeah.
perfect, nice line. It's like, this in Belgium would take 3 months if it doesn't rain, if there's no other holidays in between.
You know
It's crazy.
We Chinese have the efficiency.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Yes. It's
Really.
and it's amazing. So when you see all this, it's like, you know, it gives you the energy to, you know, to speed up and to do good and to
have
to
the positive thinking, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the stereotypes in
Okay.
China to the overseas, because I know that you accept different cultures because your family was different culture. Your son speak French, English, and Chinese.
I'm half Chinese myself.
Yeah. So during the 16 years, have you encountered with the stereotypes, the really just hard or interface with the stereotypes?
Within China, you mean?
Yeah, in China.
Stereotypes, not really. So you have to know that maybe it's not so good, but for us foreigner, Asian, they all look the same. So
Yeah, same face, right?
Is Asian, right? So I know since I arrived in China that they say, oh, people from the north, they talk funny. You know, the accent is different. And when I listen to the Chinese New Year show, that's soon, you can hear this, like the Beijing accent is a bit different than here, of course. But then they would say, people in the north, they're big, and the girls from this area, they're all pretty, and the people from the south, they're very good with business. But after you go there, and it's all the same. No, there's tall and strong and pretty is everywhere the same. I think stereotype is a bit like is one way to box region or to
You put the labels on
represent,
them now,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because we need to find the true sides of people behind their labels. You need to feel. You need to go there, right?
Yeah, but let's say if we met like 16 years ago when I just arrived and I hear that, I would think, oh, she's from the north because you're same height as me, right? And say,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
she's
taller.
tall, so she must be from the north. But it's not true. You know?
Yeah, I'm Chinese now.
So yeah, stereotypes is it's all over. Like in Europe, we're the same stereotypes. Huh? We say about from the Italy, they're like this. The Portuguese, they're like this. The Belgians are like that. You know, the Scottish are like this. I think it's a bit normal. Like every country has his other country likes to poke in, like make fun of.
People are picky sometimes.
So let's say the French, they like to make fun of the Belgians. The Belgians believe the French, they are too proud of themselves. But actually in France, they would think the same about other regions of France. Like if you go to the south, people from Paris. You know, so I think it's a bit of a game that you need to accept and just have no feeling about it.
So it's the misunderstanding, I think. Misunderstanding or misconceptions.
No, I think it's part of a relationship, right? To have different opinion of different people or of different region, even you don't know nothing about it. You know, you just heard something and just repeat it. Because most of the time it's like this, right? You don't experience it.
You know it's happening, but
so,
you didn't
as I say, when I arrive here,
experience.
it's in the north they're all big and tall. But you go there, it's like no, it's regular, regular Chinese-sized people, right?
Yeah. In your own real life, you find out it's totally different from people saying the stereotypes or prejudice.
Yeah.
Any case
But stereotypes.
or prejudice.
Before I came to China, in Europe, we think in China everybody knows Kung Fu.
Yeah, Kung Fu.
You know, because it's like one of the
Li Xiaolong.
icon. Yeah, exactly. So when you arrive here, even though you see in the park, you're like, you know, people do Tai Chi, and my father-in-law does Tai Chi and everything. But it's not like everybody is a Kung Fu master or violent. And I think it's totally the opposite, right? I feel like very okay. You have to say that the streets are very safe. Doesn't matter what hour of the day or the time.
Yeah.
any hour of the day or the night you're in the street, there's never one moment that I felt insecure, which would not be the same, let's say in Brussels or in Europe, maybe even a small village, right? So you might come here and say, oh, they all know Kung Fu, but then everybody is so friendly and so helpful, kind. There's a lot of kindness. So, and I think it runs at every generation. In Europe, we're probably more centered, oriented. So we just think about ourselves and our little thing. When you're here, it's more about the wider community.
More opening up.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, an example, all the bikes in the streets. When they first started this in Europe, it was a big disaster because people would steal them, damage them for no reason, just because it's public, right? When here, everybody is just, okay, I cannot park here, okay, now I know where to park, and then they all park that in a good way, let's say, right? It took time, but...
It takes time, it takes time.
So, yeah, I think I didn't feel any prejudice as a foreigner to be here. At the time, there's no... we had cell phone, but no app to call the cabs or whatsoever, right? So you would go to the street, you just wave to find a cab, a taxi. And every time the taxi driver was so eager to know, where you from?
Yeah.
Nationalia. So at the beginning I don't know, but I start to know the taxi driver little
they need to talk
little
to
chat,
you.
Language. So then I knew, and if they knew any English, they would say it, whatever word it is. Good morning. They're happy to show that they know. I think it's cool.
They're happy to share and they bold to share.
Yeah, and you could feel they were genuinely happy that you as a foreigner jump in their taxi, because then they would tell their family, today the foreigner is me and he was from Belgium, or whatever they will repeat. So I think it's
the experience.
It's cool, that you have this experience. Then, no prejudice. Actually, I think to be a foreigner, you have more privileges.
Yeah.
But I had the same when I live in Norway or I live in France. I didn't feel it because it's so close that it's the same. And it's the same language, so there's no very difference. If I lived in Spain, if people notice you're not there, they would maybe take more time.
Really? Take more time? Yeah. Now you take less time, right?
No, to interact with you. Let's say you go to the shop and you try to order something in Spanish. At time I don't know. Even if they're busy, they would try to help you and point at something that they would do the same here. So I think to be in...
They are quite just like hard and warm heart. Right.
Yeah, but I felt the same in other countries as well. So this, I don't know. I think it's a privilege to be a foreigner in a country.
They want to treat you.
That's the way I felt and I experienced it, right? In different countries.
Overall, you feel the sweet home Shanghai feeling, right?
Yeah, yes. And also when you're a foreigner, you become a little ambassador of your country. Right?
Yeah,
so,
you present.
You're from Belgium, and everybody knows chocolate. Chocolate. And say beer, Belgian beer, especially now.
You're a representative. You're the
especially
representative.
now that I make beer as well, right?
Yeah.
So then you become a little ambassador, and then you try to also yourself to leave a good impression.
Yeah.
Right? So they know, okay, people from Belgium are good people.
You know that? Because Chinese people also want to show their ambassador feeling, because they want to show you the good thing, the good heart. They are the ambassador from their small side, small world or small city or small district. Yeah. They want to be warm hearts. They want to be really good to people, treat people really nice.
Yeah, this I felt everywhere I went to China. I really felt it. Being to friends, like when I go to my friend in Chengdu, Ling, we meet other friends. Like even though I don't know, they are so happy. They come to me. Oh, what's your name? They try to speak English, and of course we drink. In China is smoking and drink. I don't smoke, so I do the drinking part, and it's very friendly. It's like it feels genuine, right? It's not like they try to know something from you to profit from it. It's like, no, it's like one moment, happy interaction, and then, okay, I made a friend for a night and we had a good fun. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's something about Raph that stayed with me after this interview. It's not just that he's been in China for 16 years. It's not that he married a Chinese girl or that he works as a chef. Most people struggle with change. They fight against it. They compare everything to what they knew before. But Raph, he accepts. Not passively, not blindly, but with open heart. The good, the bad, the challenges, the joys, he takes them all as part of life. It's not about resisting change, but learning to live with it. He doesn't reject the tough parts of living in China. He doesn't just chase the good moments. He takes everything as it comes. And that takes strength. There's a kind of strength that doesn't need to be loud. Raph isn't the type to make big statements about belonging or identity, but the way he lives speaks louder than words. He built something here. He takes care of his family. He pushes forward in his job no matter what happened around him. And that, to me, is real resilience. I walked into this interview expecting to talk about his job, food, stereotypes encountered with, and his life in China, but I walked away with something more. What really makes a place home? Is it time? Is it people? Is it the way you feel when you wake up in the morning? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Plus, it reminds me why I started This Is Who You Are, to show real people, real lives, and real perspectives. No matter where you come from, we all have story worth telling. So yeah, thanks for tagging along. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That would be a great encouragement for me. And see you next time about Raph's another job. To be continued.